from Rixie. This is Debuff, and I'm your host, Steve Skeels.
We're back, though.
What up, fam? Hello.
What up, family?
Welcome back to Debuff.
We're in. What?
We're in the mix.
Has something changed?
I don't know. Looks like a little brighter in here to me. I don't know what it looks like on screen, but new lighting in effect.
Okay, so yes, so we have a new lighting fixture. I can explain all the parts if you don't mind.
Go for it, man. For our audio only listeners,
this is a great time.
Different.
Yeah, this is a great time to come to the YouTube channel. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos about like video podcasting and how to improve your setup. And there's this one channel, there's a couple channels. One is kind of this douchey group of guys called the Minimalists. And they've got the most amazing lighting setup. And a portion of it is a top-down lighting. And like anything Peter McKinnon does, if you know him on YouTube, he's like the Canadian Casey Neistat. Like he does a lot of light dome, top-down lighting. And so I was like, well, how can we get a better lighting setup? Because in this room, if you don't know, we've got a fan with a top-down light that looks horrible. We don't use that. We have a lamp across the room from me and a lamp behind Sean and I, which you've definitely seen because it fucking blows out the image. And so I was like, well, I don't want to put up lights that like you can trip over stands. You know what I mean? Like having like we move around enough to where like we're almost tripping over cords anyway. Like I have them routed under the carpet, but I was like, how can we do it so that it's like potentially hanging from the ceiling? And so I saw a video by a YouTube channel called Indie Mogul like 2 years ago when they were doing a like faux podcast setup. And they talked about this thing called a light pole, or there's other names for it, but Manfrotto makes one. Manfrotto's like top of the line camera gear, like it's super expensive, but luckily this light pole wasn't crazy expensive. It's essentially like a metal pipe that has rubber on the ends, and
It's like one of those mountable shower rods.
Yeah, it's like a heavy duty shower curtain rod.
They got them for like curtains and stuff too, tension rods.
Yep. And so I got one of those. I got a clamp for the light, and I bought a Godox SL150 Mark II, which is a 150 watt light.
It's bright as shit, though.
It's bright, though.
Yeah.
And I got a Aperture Light Dome Mini Mark II, and that's the lighting setup. It's just one big dome light. It's probably going to get hot in here. You might see us sweat. That's okay. You're definitely going to see it now because of the top-down lighting.
Be talking about some hot topics.
Talking about hot topics. But hopefully in the next video as well, you'll actually see better cameras. So right now we're obviously using our phones. And if the cameras don't look as good as the phones or it doesn't work, we'll go back to the phone cameras. But we're going to try both.
Mason has nice cameras. We just can't set them up yet.
I have tripods that we could use, but the thing about it is like when you set up a bunch of tripods, like you have to tear them down. You have to like hopefully you don't trip over them. And so for weeks, if not months, I've been trying to think of a solution to mount them to the table. And just as of the last 3 or 4 days, I finally found something that is essentially a C-clamp that has a tripod stand on the top. So we're waiting on those. They were supposed to get delivered yesterday, but they didn't. And that's been a really big issue for me because I'm upset about it. But
it's all good, man. We'll get them next time.
It's okay. We hopefully next time you see us, we'll have some good cameras.
Bruh. So, it's true.
So tangent over. Hope you guys like the new lights. And hopefully next time, if you come back, we'll have some good looking cameras too. So
hell yeah.
All right. I'm done talking for a few minutes.
All right. So what do we want to do first?
I mean, what do you have?
I guess the first thing I've wanted to talk about for a while, and now more stuff coming out about it. Microsoft acquiring Zenimax, which includes Bethesda, id Software, and all that.
Yep.
And there was like a while where they said that it had to be approved by the SEC, right, and European Commission, all this.
Yeah, so you sent us an article today, and I looked over it, and that was kind of interesting that they were like, we have to make sure that this is okay.
So I've heard people talk about this where I guess with big mergers and stuff, that's kind of a thing that happens, except for the fact that like they almost never say that it can't happen. Like they check on it to make sure it's not going to create like a monopoly or whatever, but most of the time these mergers and stuff are not going to be, especially something like video games. I mean, it's hard to get everything under a monopoly, right? I mean, if Microsoft bought Nintendo and Sony and other big studios, then maybe they'd say something, but I don't know. Either way, it's just like a formality, right, where they have to go through and say it's okay, and then they can like sign off on it. So yeah, the European Commission today said that it's all good. Bunch of jargon about how it's all fine, no competition concerns, yada yada. But
do you know why that they were involved? Like, is a part of ZeniMax in the EU or Bethesda's like sub companies or ZeniMax sub companies?
I was kind of wondering that. I don't know, to be honest, if some of of them are. I'm not really sure because definitely ZeniMax is not, but I'm not sure. I mean, maybe because they have dealings with them. I really don't know.
Or is it maybe because they sell their product internationally?
Actually, I don't know. I know a couple.
It's something to do with the fact that it could create a monopoly in the European Union market.
Yeah, so, I will also say definitely some of their subsidiaries are. Now that I think about it, like I know Arcane, the people that make Dishonored, are I think in France and stuff. But yeah, Sean, you're probably more right that.
I mean, I think
that's right. You're right. Yeah.
So I mean, the EU has quite a few. Like they're trying to
Peggy 18. That's what you know that.
I don't know what that is.
That's like the rating system.
That's the rating system.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they have
that landed.
Well,
I knew what you were saying.
They have some rule that they're trying to get passed where all devices have to utilize the same charger. So USB-C, most devices are moving towards USB-C.
I did see that.
But Apple is still stuck with the Lightning, and that's why people are speculating that the MagSafe type connector for the iPhone is now what they're going to push for and have a portless iPhone, because if they switch to USB-C, it's not something they can say or slap the $4. It's a $4 charge for every cable that's ever created that works with Apple. Or works with
like
iPhone.
A licensing fee?
Yeah. And if they go to USB-C, they can't license chargers anymore and get $4 worth or $4 off of every charger that's ever sold.
So they make the mag connectors.
So they're going to do the mag connector, which is not necessarily the same type of charger port, because that's what the rule is, that you need to all have the same port on mobile devices by, I don't know, 2025 or something.
Which I feel like we're so late to that. Like that seems like something that we should have been doing. I mean, I guess we kind of are.
I think they tried it.
Like, I just feel like universal charging ports, like, it feels like we're kind of late to me on, like, the fact that, like, oh, well, they still have a proprietary cable. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, the Fitbit cable, but, like, it's not anything you've ever seen before.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like part of that is just...
I use Fitbit a lot. You guys do, too.
Back before USB-C, which is now, I guess, everyone's using as a standard. I mean, most things were micro USB. You might still buy something that's micro USB, but back with old phones, like they had a ton of proprietary or different shaped chargers. I remember I bought some like the first like external battery I ever bought came with all these different like charger heads that you could attach onto things. And I remember I had a like sharper image charging pad that wasn't wireless charging, but it had like 3 or 4 cables that came out, and they had interchangeable heads, and it came with a pack of like 10, 15 different things because all the devices could have. So micro definitely for a while was like the main thing you would find. And I remember in college, my 3 roommates had iPhones and I had an Android, and they were always like borrowing each other's cables and whatever. And I would always be like, hey, I got like 50 micro USB cables because everything I own comes with one, but
Yeah.
no one wanted to go buy the $25 Apple cable or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think what I'm realizing as you talk about it is it's really just Apple who's the problem.
I was going to say, you're talking about...
We're coming full circle
Yeah.
here, but yeah, I don't know why Apple has to. I mean, why is the last 2 episodes of this show starting with us talking Apple? It's because they're
Sean and I are on
it.
it. Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry for anyone out there, Mason included, who
I
enjoy Apple
agree.
products. It just, to me, it's kind of fucked up. Like, what I understand the reason why to sacrifice $4 a case. Like, how many fucking iPhone chargers are sold a year? Right? Like, that's a shit ton of fucking money they're just going to leave on the table if they don't do something.
Well, most people I know only have like one cable.
The investors are happy, but the rest of us aren't.
Yeah, well, they'll have the mag connectors and it'll be fine. But to come back around real quick off of this tangent, let's talk about how they like to do that with their cables. Let's talk about exclusivity.
Yes, going back to the original point. Sorry.
No, you're good. We like to get on that, but I just want to ask, because this is something we've talked about a bit before, that Microsoft buying Zenimax and all their software IP and shit that comes with that. What do you guys want to see? I think it was Jeff Grubbs from GamesBeat or something. I don't know.
Jeff Grubbs?
Yeah, he said something about how they're going to have some kind of announcement following the signing of the documents or whatever, where they'll probably talk about what the acquisition means for their properties.
I mean, I mentioned this to you earlier, and probably even earlier than this.
Yeah, we've
earlier
talked about
than
it
today, but I mean, I am worried that I guess I'm not necessarily worried, but I'm worried for the general consumer that maybe these games that have been cross-platform, some of them might become Microsoft exclusives, and but at the same time, Xbox has shown that they are trying to get their games into other markets and having them being able to play online. I don't know. I worry that the flagships like Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Starfield potentially could be system locked, and that makes me scared. I don't think they're going to do that because they want that check, but Xbox could be like, that's a part of the deal, motherfucker. Like Sony has Spider-Man, they've got all these great,
isn't Sony supposed to be bringing some of their PlayStation exclusives to PC now?
Yeah, I mean, they've done Horizons on PC.
Yeah,
they're bringing
not to Xbox.
No, but that's
still,
what
I'm saying.
That's still a little bit of money, right?
Yeah, it's halfway there.
Yeah, so I understand the console thing. I think Microsoft's stupid if they're gonna pull Bethesda games from every other system other than Windows and Xbox. Like, that just seems stupid to me.
It does. Yeah, I agree.
It's a lot of money they would just be leaving on the table.
Again, yeah, that's a good point.
Second time I've said that this podcast.
I mean, I debated this. Yeah, we debated this earlier.
A lot of money on the table.
I really hope that they don't do that, but they. Are you getting a little phone call?
Yeah, dude.
Does it work?
Yeah.
They have. They could do it. I hope they don't. But it could be. I mean, it could. The thing is, we've said it before. Buy my box, and this is a great way to make sure that people buy Xboxes in the future. Now, maybe they're not thinking that, but I mean, it would bring a lot of people from Sony over to Xbox.
Yeah, let me say, I know in the past, Phil Spencer said that exclusives are stupid and it doesn't help anyone, and Microsoft Xbox has been doing this whole for the consumer thing. They want it to be I don't know, they're trying to be more consumer friendly, especially after some of the misses they had with the Xbox One announcement back in the day. But anyways, I think 2 things. One, you guys are right, it's a lot of money. He has also said that they don't need the money, basically. I mean, it's fucking Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
But
They're doing okay.
they've pretty much said it's going to depend on the game, is what the phrasing was. I feel like the legacy titles, it would be dumb to make exclusive. Like
the Fallouts, the
yeah, and even like
Yeah.
Doom is really big now, right? I mean, Wolfenstein, those. I mean,
dude, I
Doom's
always
always been
forget
big, but
that's them.
yeah, I mean, it's under Zenimax, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I like the Dishonored games. Prey is one under Arcane. They've got weird stuff going on where like Arcane's next game, the Looper or no, not Looper, god damn it.
The movie with
No,
Bruce
Deathloop.
I almost
keep
said
forgetting.
Bruce Wilson.
I've been trying not to see a lot about this game, but Deathloop is going to be timed exclusive for PlayStation, even though it's coming out under studio owned by.
What is timed as in like only for a couple years?
Yeah,
or
it's
a
probably
year?
it's probably a year. I don't really know. Normally they do like a year or something, but timed exclusive just means it's temporary, right? So, they're letting that happen before it'll come out, even though Microsoft owns them, because they'd have to break contract and all that jazz. But I think that new IPs would make sense for them to launch under exclusivity. Starfield they announced, but they haven't really shown anything. They could totally come out and say, "You want to play this? It's going to be an Xbox exclusive, or Xbox and PC." I do feel like also, besides the money thing, and depending on what they want to do, it's going to be bad publicity, right? If people have these exclusives on Xbox, PlayStation owners are going to be hurt. But I definitely know some people that would go and buy an Xbox just to play.
Well, I mean, it was the same with
It's true.
Spider-Man. Like, I was like, might have to buy
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it. So that's tough. But the thing I think is also could be pretty likely is a timed exclusivity thing, even if it's not a year. But if they were like, you want to play the next Doom when it comes out, you got to get it on Xbox or PC for the first month. It won't be
Okay.
out on PlayStation. Something like that, where, I mean, some people don't want to play it the day of. I mean, like I'm saying, it could be a year. I fucking hope not, because that's stupid. But a month or something.
You just have to wonder what Bethesda or Zenimax. I just always think it's Bethesda. I'm like burping up garlic like crazy.
Dude,
Are
I'm
you guys-
sorry. No, we had shrimp scampi.
We just
guys,
had shrimp
so that's
scampi,
the-
and I love it. It tastes great, but
I'm not.
This is gonna smell like garlic. I'm trying to remember what we were just saying.
we're just talking about a month timed exclusivity or something like that for the games.
I'm wondering what Zenimax is thinking. Maybe they are they like, you know what, Microsoft, if you're gonna shell out, was it $7 billion?
7.5 billion. They can
like,
do whatever the fuck
do
they
whatever
want.
the fuck
Yeah.
you want.
I
But
mean-
did they draw the line in the sand, and they were like, dude, you're not fucking doing this to our big titles.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder, because I'm sure, again, it's like, do they care that much when they're being? I mean, Microsoft's not going to let them die, and then they're too big to
Yeah,
die. It's not like them buying Ninja Theory or whoever that makes good games, but they're not like. I mean, the amount of IPs under Bethesda or ZeniMax rather that people like is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they're not going to let them die. But I do think, like you guys are saying, a lot of money on the table, as Sean mentioned, that if they made him exclusive. Other thing that would be smart is with just the marketing. I mean, Microsoft's really pushing for GamePass, right? We all know it's a great deal. It's awesome. And you can get it on PC, Xbox. They've got like phone, the xCloud streaming,
Yeah.
all that. I mean, they could just market it where it's like out on all these, but it'll say like $15 a month on Game Pass, right? Like you pay $15 a month, you can play this game. And then even if you see that in the advertising, even if you're just a general consumer, the layman that doesn't follow gaming stuff much, you just go in the store and go pick up a game that you heard $15 and you see it's not $15 on PlayStation, you might say, well, hold on.
Yeah. I think I am a little bit worried about do you know how the relationship with Microsoft / Xbox is with Nintendo?
I mean, everyone likes to make jokes that like Microsoft and Nintendo like make out in the corner while Sony watches. 'Cause
Okay, so
they
it's
don't.
positive.
They're not that tight, but I mean, definitely there's. We had Ori and
That's
Cuphead and stuff like that has come to Nintendo or the
Okay.
Switch, and also they got Banjo-Kazooie in
Then I feel a lot better.
and Steve in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, the
so
rare
like,
replay.
well,
Well,
no, they got
What are you talking about in Smash?
Banjo-Kazooie and Steve from Minecraft in Super Smash Brothers as
Which are-
characters.
yeah.
Which are Microsoft characters.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, they talk enough. They're nice enough. I mean, Sony seems to be the one that, not that they don't play nice, but just that they don't have as much like cross promotion.
Yeah,
and
they're kind of the island.
Yeah, nobody really wants Crash Bandicoot and Smash.
everybody does, dude. Are you joking?
Ooga booga.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what's the deal there, but that's one thing that I could totally
We
see.
need Knack in there.
People
Ooga.
think one day Microsoft Xbox might
Knack
like
2.
become more of a service where maybe they sell their box or whatever for you to play on. But
Yeah.
like, what if one day on the Switch 2 or whatever we have GamePass app that you can download? And
Yeah, that would be super fucking smart, but I don't think they'll ever do it.
I don't think Nintendo will want to do it because
Yeah.
you'll pay $15 a month to Microsoft to play a bunch of games that instead of buying them on Nintendo's eShop for them to get 30% or whatever the cut is.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing that Apple does, right? You
Right.
can't have like xCloud is
Yeah.
not coming to not coming to
Well, they're trying to work something out. They're probably going to try to do it through web or something because they won't put the app on the
yeah, and then Epic. Remember when that all happened?
Yeah, we talked about that on old Debuff episode that or I did, I guess, but that
I just listened to it.
that they were like trying to have people pay through not the App Store because they didn't want to share that money.
The more and more we talk about Apple, I just feel like they're like
To be fair,
they're such a problem.
yeah, but to be fair about that, like
And I hate
every
it.
storefront charges like a pretty decent chunk.
Yeah, but we're talking about, I would say, arguably the most popular smartphone app store in the world.
I mean,
We
talked about this.
other than the Play Store.
yeah, I mean, there's only really
It's those
options,
two. I mean,
pretty much.
I just feel like
Amazon had an
Yeah,
app
we don't-
store
I mean-
which was
mean,
Gabagool.
yeah.
Google did also
was-
pull that Fortnite from the,
But that
you
was-
could sideload it still,
Yeah.
right? Like so,
Yeah.
but that was also
Did that
like
ever get resolved?
not as far as not that I've heard, but
play.google.com will fight.
the thing I will say about that though is that I mean, yeah, Epic clearly knew what they were doing, where they were like having you go and not pay through the store, which is not right. I mean, I understand why, but yeah, you can just sideload the app on Android. They don't even need to go through the Play Store if they don't want to. That's not an option on
Yeah.
an iPhone.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't, we don't need to talk about that if you've already talked about it, but it's just, to me, it's just kind of like, it is a grimy thing on both parties.
Yeah.
Apple and Google and Epic. Epic should not have done that. It is against the terms of service, but Apple
Is taking 30% of each
Yeah.
Well-
microtransaction. That's fucked.
And I mean, I did talk about. Is it 30? I feel like it's 30,
Or-
something
I
high.
don't
But
know.
when
Yeah.
I was looking at the time, I had heard about this before. But Comixology is like a really big comic reading app, and you can't buy comics on the app anymore because they were getting charged that much. So now it's just a reader of your library, as far as I recall. Because I mean, comics are honestly like a hurting industry in the first place, and then when they're trying to reach out and have digital comics, and one comic book's not very expensive, and you're charging 30% off of everyone, like
Yeah.
that sucks for some people to
problematic.
only buy a couple of them, and you're losing a huge chunk. So I don't know. We don't need to get into all that jazz, but
The last thing I want to say about it is it would be one thing if the App Store on Apple products, like, it would be one thing if they were hurting. If they were,
Yeah.
if that was all they did, then it'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what? Take your 30%. They are worth billions. Are they worth trillions?
Yeah, I think they're the only company in the world
Yeah,
worth $1 trillion.
They're not hurting. So, like, stop being assholes and
Yeah.
cut it down. Like, people there will be incentivized to come and sell their apps or to even make apps for the store if they feel like 30% is not getting shaved off the top. I don't know, man. They're fucking assholes, and I hate that I have to use it because it's like I don't have to, but like I've built myself into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
mean-
so what am I gonna do?
I mean, yeah, and
Just, like,
you enjoy it.
cut off
They're
a
just
fucking limb.
It's like, we all buy products from shitty companies, even not just Apple, right? Like it sucks, but we live in a society.
That
So
shit hurting.
but the last thing I kind of want to say is hopefully the Game Pass does make it on other stuff. That I think would be cool, but also with the whole like cut of different sales and stuff, at least Epic puts their money where their mouth is. They had the Epic Store, which people like to hate on because they don't want to use another launcher, but they take 12% revenue, where Steam's ranges from like 30 to 20%. So
really?
that's Epic. Yeah, like part
Dude,
of why
good for
people
them.
are going there as Epic Store exclusives is Epic probably throws a bunch of money at them, but then they get much more of the profits than if you go to Steam. So I don't know. The business side of the gaming shit can be weird because I don't really know, like, if Microsoft doesn't want to make all their games exclusive, that's probably good for money, but also it's not going to get anyone to go to their platform because, yeah, Game Pass is cool, but if you're not on board with that, if me and Sean have talked about, I like owning my games. As cool as Game Pass is, like, it kind of sucks that games can be removed from there if they're not
That's
owned
what
by.
I worry about for sure.
And they do. If it's not an Xbox first party title, like, they will eventually run out of time. It's just like Netflix, where people flipped out because The Office finally left, and they're like, "What do I do now?" It's like,
dude, they were paying so much money
right,
for The Office,
and I get that, and that's
as they should. But I mean, they were
Microsoft
paying
can't
a
just
ton.
have an infinite catalog that continuously grows for $15 a month. Like, that's just not sustainable at a certain point, right? So they have to have them rotate. It's timed. And it's cool. I mean, there's definitely games that I've tried on there just because it's there, but
Yeah. I have a really good segue, unless you have more to say about it. So I was recommended a video on YouTube yesterday or the day before, and it was a No Man's Sky playthrough from the start, but it was with permadeath, which means obviously if you die, you die, and there's no coming back. Permanently death.
That shit hurting.
And then but also they played with no HUD. So like you couldn't necessarily see where all the waypoints are. You don't know if like certain things that you're mining are like this or that until after you mine it. And the guy but the reason I liked it so much was this guy who was playing his YouTube channel is called Jason Plays, and he just has a really like fun attitude, and it was just a really awesome playthrough, and I liked it so much. I mean, I remember when No Man's Sky was like teased, and the game, that one really popular conference gameplay trailer came out where the head dude who was, I guess, helping make the game, Sean something.
Yeah, dude.
Like showed
fucking
like,
Sean
you've got
Murray,
all
brother.
these you've got all these planets and these trillions
quintillion
of,
planets or whatever.
And I remember being like, holy shit, this game's gonna be amazing. I don't think I had like the most recent console, so when it came out, I was like, well, actually, when it came out, I think people were a little bit upset, kind of like Cyberpunk. It was like kind of not as good as people were hoping. Or there were some things that were promised that weren't actually in the game.
I mean, I bought it, and
so you bought it, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really show a lot about the game before it came out.
It was a whisper, it wasn't
it was like, vertical slices, marketing slices of the game that But yeah, I mean, Sean Murray, I feel like looking back, it sucks because I think part of it was that people, they were a small indie studio, and Sony like picked up the game as an exclusive. It was coming to PC too, right? But console exclusive, and the marketing that they fed into it was absurd for a game like that. And all these interviews and stuff, it got overhyped, and he said things that maybe at one point in development, like the multiplayer thing. There was not multiplayer on launch, and they didn't say that. It didn't have it. Like, they didn't deny, but they never came out and said, no, there's no multiplayer, even though they specifically said there was in an interview. But I think maybe they were working on it, or they planned to, and then they didn't get to it or whatever. And the whole thing kind of blew the fuck up because there was a ton of stuff that wasn't there. And in the end, it was a very like basic game where you just went around, took pictures of creatures, mined for resources, flew to the next planet. Like,
Well, and wasn't there when multiplayer did launch? I don't remember if that was a day one thing.
No,
But-
it was not.
No, but so whatever happened, they were like, you'll never find another player.
Yeah,
and then
the-
the same
yeah.
fucking day, someone else found another person like
No, so
in the game.
what it was
I
yeah,
remember, somebody saying they're like, we know we're on the same spot.
Yeah, what
and
it
we don't
was
see each
was
other.
I don't know if they specifically said there was no multiplayer for a while, but what he said, was the game's so big you'll never find another player. And then the way that the game worked, you could name, I think, the planets, but you could name new creatures and stuff you found that because they're
You can
randomly
name the
generated.
planet and the system, I think.
And so people went
Or
and
now you can.
and got to the same planet and were like, I can't find him at all. And then people were like, okay, so there's no multiplayer. It was that kind of thing where it was like clearly not. They weren't being truthful. Like, the omission of truth is still kind of a lie in context, right?
Yeah.
But there was a lot of stuff, and it seemed like there was more to it than when it came out. And I had a good time I probably played like 20-something hours, and I just got burnt out because it was, again, not a lot to do. But I think really what you want to get to is that they have improved it. And that's what's crazy is they basically went silent under all the hate about the game. People were shitting on it. They went silent and then like came out with update after update that really improved the game, which I think is
Yeah.
respectable. And they've totally come back into like, I mean, maybe people will not buy into the hype on their next game, which they're coming out with something else. I think they're doing smaller scale, but I think now people understand like they're not fucking around. They didn't have to do that. It's all been free, right? They could have just abandoned it and never been respected again, but
I think they really pulled themselves out of the mud. And I remember seeing videos maybe 6 months to a year ago where people were like, yo, the new updates are pretty tight. Like, if you haven't bought this game, you should.
Yeah, I've heard it's a good game, but I still have I don't know. I have no desire to play it for some reason. Like,
Well, the reason I bring it up is because I pulled out the Xbox today. I have an Xbox One now. I didn't have whatever I think I needed when it came out, but I pulled it out after probably a year and a half not using it. I think I bought Forza 4 Horizon, whatever it is. And I played that a couple years ago and haven't played it since. And the funniest thing, and this is just the perfect thing about pulling out old Microsoft consoles, and it's probably the same with Sony. Immediate update, 3.6 gigs. Update finishes, relaunches. Another update, 4 gigs. Like, I was like, what was the first? I think it was the first update was to update you to a system that it could talk. The new update could talk to. It was like
the thing,
8 gigs of updates.
The thing I will say that I do appreciate about Apple is they roll all their updates into one. So if you missed iOS version 11.4
Yeah.
and they launched 12, when you go to look at, well, no matter what version you're on, it's going to say 12, and you download all of it in one. You don't have to do 3 different updates. Android didn't do that for a very long time. So the really nice thing about Apple, Microsoft
Is that what it
apparently
was
still,
doing?
yeah. So you get update
That's the
number
guess,
1,
yeah.
and then number 2, because it's not all rolled into one.
Yeah, I don't think you're always going to have to get every single one, but there were probably a big enough gap in a year
Well,
and a
that's what I'm
half
saying.
where-
It's been a long time since I turned it on.
But
Yeah.
fucking, that's the joke about modern day consoles is that, either it's a million updates just to be able to get to where you want to do, or
Play your brand new game.
you put in a game and, I mean, day one patch is,
50
like-
gigs.
Yeah.
yeah, it's insane, dude. I mean, it's so upsetting to me when I go to play a new game and that's what I have to deal with, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, here's the funniest thing about it. I did the updates. I signed in. I had to reset my password because I didn't know it. And it had been like probably 45 minutes of me like flipping back from like Apple TV to the other source to where I was like, I don't really want to play. I don't want to fucking play right now. I like lost. I was like, this took so fucking long that I don't want to play
Yeah.
right now.
That sucks. That's what sucks about.
And I went to buy No Man's Sky, and it's full price, $60.
$60, really?
And it's
Get
like
Game Pass, dude.
you could get Game Pass.
This brings it all back
and this
around.
is why I was like, this is a great segue.
It's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass, and I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking paying full price. Like,
Dude,
Can you
this game
check
is
it?
4 fucking years old.
I think you should be able to get your first try at Game Pass for $1.
You do get a $1 free trial for a month. I honestly should probably cancel mine. I am still paying for it. I haven't played a game.
How much is it per month?
I think $10.
I think on Xbox, I think
I'm gonna forget
$10
about
is
it.
the
I'm gonna
most.
pay it for like
If
a
I
year
think
and
you
a
get
half.
gold and Game Pass for $10 a month. I want to say we have to pay for the like Ultimate on PC. I think, which is bumped up to 15 now. I don't really know because I haven't paid full price yet. I've only had it for a handful of months, and I got the $1, and then my computer was like, "Hey, you get a couple months for free for getting a new computer
Let's
or something."
See, I'm gonna see the plans.
You should see the plans, and while you see
But-
the plans,
But it's
console,
nice, man.
Console only is $9 a month.
that's
$9.99.
just for
Access to over 100 high quality console games. New
what
games
about
added
with
all the time.
Prime or with Prime
With gold, that might be the $15.
$15
Is gold and PC.
But what are you gonna be playing on? No,
Well,
yeah.
you don't have to play.
so
you don't have to play No Man's Sky Online.
No, yeah.
Ultimate is
Came out as a
the
single
$15 option. You get your first month for $1. This one also comes with the Xbox Game Cloud, the X Cloud. EA Play is also a part of that, which is a pretty awesome deal, actually.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding?
Fuck EA,
no,
but,
dude.
Oh, I
EA,
thought
EA
because I'm
Play,
thinking sports titles.
Well,
No,
I mean,
no.
dude, EA is like Battlefront. and-
yeah,
Oh,
EA
okay.
Play is actually a pretty fucking awesome deal. There's a guy in the group chat, shout out my Vectrex enthusiasts, who's like, dude, it's a fucking amazing deal. He's like, fuck EA, but this is a good fucking deal for
I
what
was
you
like,
get.
dude, you get all the 2K
Yeah, I
game,
mean-
or you get all the
NBA
fucking
2K.
NHL
That's
games
not EA.
and Madden. Yeah, 2K is its own fucking
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
EA 2K.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna forget. It's gonna roll over.
That's what's
for 6
happening with me
months.
right now.
And dude, I would rather go on to Amazon or eBay, pay $20 for the game, or
Yeah,
go to
I mean, do that,
GameStop
yeah.
and pay 25
Yeah,
bucks for the game
Just do that.
and do that. But $60 full price.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Did that come
fucking-
out in what, 2016,
I mean,
2017?
so let me just say this. Most games go on sale and some have like permanent price reductions and stuff like that, right? But digital storefronts, and sometimes companies do go in there and it's like, okay, now God of War is always $40.
Yeah.
It'll never be more than that.
But when
yeah,
did
I
that
mean, you
game
can-
come out?
Yeah, I mean, in like
2016?
2016. Yeah.
That's
But-
5
Yeah,
years
but,
ago.
But go get it on Amazon for $26, right? Like the physicals will go down.
yeah.
Digital storefront, unless they go in and change the price.
Well, this is a question I had for you guys. Is the physical or the digital going to perform better? Do you know? Is there any
It should
difference?
be
There's no
the same.
difference, yeah.
The
There's-
disc is just like a license.
The only time I could think that would matter would maybe be with Switch if you put it on an SD card that's really fucking shitty.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean,
That was my. I
Well-
was like, well, maybe I should get digital because it'll run better. But
So
I,
if you didn't know this, on Xbox and PlayStation, the physical disc installs the game on your hard drive, right? We know that, but then it like reads the disc to know you own the game, and then it doesn't do anything with the disc anymore. So,
Yeah.
which
it's just
I-
like a
yeah.
thumbs up to say
But
you're
that-
allowed to play it.
but that's how computer
Yeah.
games
It's a check.
were when people still bought computer game discs. It was like a CD, and I used to,
Yeah.
even if I owned a game, for most games you could go look up like a no CD crack
Yeah.
on PC and just not have to worry about putting the disc in anymore. But
Okay, that's
No Man's Sky on Game Pass.
So I'm thinking about it.
It's cool, man.
we'll
if you had a
see.
PlayStation, I'd let you take my copy.
We
but-
might come back next week and I will have played it, but we'll see. I really think out of this whole part of the conversation, go watch Jason Plays. He is a really funny, like genuine fucking guy. And the video, it's probably on the screen below me, but like
Yeah, link will be in the show notes.
the link will be in the show notes. And I even if you watch the first 20 minutes, it's a 3-hour live stream. I watched it over the course of a couple days, but like he's a really cool guy. Yeah.
Nice.
I have more shit if you want to. Well, do you want to talk about that FedEx thing?
I mean, it's your thing. Go for it, man.
So
I know
years
what you're
ago-
talking about, but
yeah, years ago, I don't know when I heard about it. Or
I
who
definitely had
said
heard this
anything.
before after you said it, but
But so this article that I'm going to also link in the show notes, it reads, "Why UPS drivers don't turn left and you probably shouldn't either." So basically, UPS and I think FedEx as well have developed GPS systems for their drivers that limit them to as few left turns across traffic and vice versa in countries with when you're driving on the left side of the road, so that there's
We're driving on the right side of the road.
we drive on the right,
So you don't make left turns across.
and if you're
traffic?
driving on the left, you don't
okay.
take right.
Okay, I got you.
And that's what
Continue.
I meant.
Yeah.
And so what they've figured out, and this is an old article. This is from like 2017. I thought about it today, and I was like, that's really, because I was mad about the shipping. That's why I thought about it. Because why aren't the fucking packages here? But
Dude, we're still in a pandemic, man.
I know. They said 1 day shipping.
Yeah, but
first
been 2
world
days.
problems. here.
Amazon
I
Japan
know.
gets my fucking figure to my house in 2
Dude,
days when
that
I
is
didn't even ask
so
for it.
stupid. I cannot believe
It
that.
wasn't even like 2 days. It was like it left when I was asleep, and it was there my like next day after
That's
work.
so
It was
fucking
like
crazy.
technically
36
2 days,
hours.
yeah.
Insane.
But
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Thank you,
Anyway,
DHL.
The cool thing about this article is that they UPS has figured out that when you take a left turn, you're most likely going across lanes of traffic. You may be waiting at a light, or you're waiting like for someone in front of you to go. And when they implemented the fewest left turns as possible, they saved, I think it was either 10 million or 100 million gallons of fuel. And that right there is all the more reason to do this, because it's like, this is fucking great for the earth. Like, let's not take as many left turns. So yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. Like, it's not something, that I think a lot of people know about, and it's just, I think it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, when I first heard about it,
Seems ridiculous.
Yeah, it is, but I think it makes sense. And I was
makes
also
sense.
wondering, left turns across traffic are typically more dangerous too, because like even if you're at a light and the other side should be stopped when you cut
And
left.
it's also because of accidents.
Yeah, I mean that you could get wrecked, and when it's UPS or FedEx or whatever, not only is it stopping deliveries, they obviously have like insurance for their employees that they don't want to pay, and all the fucking packages that might get rocked.
Yeah.
Because as much as I just order bullshit, like people do get important things delivered in the mail, right? That could potentially be terrible if it gets broken.
Well, and one thing that they mentioned was like it's not any faster. It's actually in most cases slower, but the amount of fuel that they're saving is like over this many thousands of trucks and vans. Like they can't not do it because it just saves so much fuel.
I don't know. I mean, there's definitely been times where I've just taken right turns to get small. Like, all right, so when we leave our house, the road that we have to turn onto, I take a left turn every day to go to work where I got to cut across, and there's always cars coming from both ways. And for work, I normally just wait and I go left when I can. But there's been some days where I'm just like, it's super foggy out. This has happened to me so many times where like I can barely see. So I just go right, and then I turn into the gas station, and that's right, 5 seconds down the road, and then I turn around because I just can't fucking see.
That's so interesting, because like the way it is for us, whenever we want to go into town, it's a fucking nightmare. But whenever you're trying to go out of town, because for the listeners, we live essentially across the street, just on different roads, but we come to the same road that he's talking about.
It's like this, and we got to cross. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, it's
I got it now.
For the listeners, it's like this.
It's a cross.
It's a highly traveled road, and basically I have to turn left to get onto like main. I mean, it's not really a highway, but
I've done exactly what you talked about, where you just go to the gas
station. I've never
station.
thought about that.
I mean,
that is actually really smart.
I mean, and for you, if you just go right, there's that turnaround spot right where you can take the highway.
Dude, if I'm sitting there for a while, I'm gonna try that.
I just always think about. There's been a lot of times where I remember in when we lived at Mom's house behind Giant. There was that one light where instead of waiting to turn left, sometimes you would just go right and pop a Yui, Sean, by like out front of where was it?
When she was like behind Giant.
Yeah, was it the one to turn
Or
left
Food
to go
Line?
like north, and you would go and basically take a Yui by Harris Teeter instead of turning left, or even
Yeah, sort of. Sorry, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm getting fucking blown up right now,
Oh, with work.
dude. Yeah, dude. The accounting team is just like,
all right.
we need access to something anyway. Anyway,
maybe
go ahead.
maybe cut this, but
Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay.
Hey, we're all pulling on the same oar here.
Yeah,
guys.
dude. I'm just gonna fucking.
all,
Anyway,
all
yeah.
I'm saying is we
So
can
hey, don't
probably
take
cut
left
like,
turns anymore.
cut like this whole thing, but I'm just saying fucking stuff like that is interesting that they would implement it because I mean, why not? It seems like there's a lot of good reasonings for it, but
Yeah.
you would just never think about that. So
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm just glad they're saving fuel. I'm cool with that. The other thing I want to talk about, way more sad, there is this YouTuber whose channel is called Laoshu, Laoshu 505000. And he actually passed away on, I think, Friday or Saturday. The day we're recording this, I think, is the 8th. He was really cool guy, and I just want to give him a shout out because I have been watching him for a couple years, and essentially what his channel is he is, the term is technically a polyglot, which is somebody who is very good at speaking multiple languages and learns languages extremely fast. And he would have these videos where he would go up to people. He lived in the US, and like people who were clearly from another country and potentially spoke another language, Japanese, Spanish, whatever it was. And he would talk to them in their like native tongue. And what he would do is he would start by speaking English, and then he would put these animations in the videos where he's like, I'm about to level up. And then he talks in their language, like Mandarin or Spanish or whatever it is. And like sometimes speaking some crazy hard languages, like Cantonese is extremely difficult, and which is, I believe, like a small region in China. Cantonese is like a really difficult language. And the people who spoke Cantonese were like, yo, how the fuck do you know how to speak Cantonese? And like, I don't know, man. His videos were just really interesting. And the way I found out was another really popular YouTuber who goes by the name of Xiaoma NYC. I think it's Xioma. Is that how you would say that? Regardless, NYC. And he took a lot of inspiration from this guy, and he put out a video and was like, dude, this guy like helped me like build this channel. Like he inspired me to do it. And I don't know, I just think it's worth like just saying RIP, because he was like making really cool shit.
Yeah,
It's too bad.
It's super sad when.
pour one out for the homie.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super sad when Etika, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I loved his content. He was a really fucking funny guy, and it just sucks to see, someone you don't even know, but you like their content, who's just now not making any content anymore. I mean, and they also have a life outside of YouTube, right? Like that. So it fucking sucks. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
So, I'm gonna link his stuff in the show notes, and I definitely recommend that anybody watching this go watch his channel. If you just go to his video tabs and watch and go to his most viewed videos, like some of his stuff is amazing, because I mean, the looks that he would get from people are like, oh my God, I can speak in my native tongue. Like I don't have to fucking try and speak English. Like, thank you. And it was just, I don't know, it's just really like amazing stuff. So definitely check it out. R.I.P. Laoshu.
Yeah, I don't have much to add.
Yeah,
that's sad.
I just
but
wanted to say
it-
it just because
it is
I
cool.
found out today, and
I do think
it's too bad.
the language stuff is really interesting because I am an idiot at other language. I'm taking Spanish class. I mean, you were in one of my Spanish classes. Like that shit, I never could fully grasp. I was always like doing the translation thing in my head where I was trying to understand, and because grammar is different in other languages and fucking English language is fucked. Like it's one of the most difficult languages. It's not easy to understand how other languages do it because it almost makes more sense. It's like streamlined.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have a lot of respect for people that can speak other languages, and stuff like that is interesting. Some of the people that I follow on the internet and whatnot have, you know, they know other languages and they always talk about their cultures and stuff like that. And I think it's interesting, and it's funny to see stuff like that where he does it in America, right? Like he goes to Chinatown and stuff like that.
Yeah, he'll like go to a Chinese restaurant or go to like a world market style place, and like I don't know, it was really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's tight.
And it because that, like I said, the looks that he got of people who were like, is this guy really speaking Cantonese to me? Like they're always flabbergasted, and it's like that never gets old. And you can tell like he would always laugh when he knew he was like gonna catch someone off guard. But RIP.
Yeah, pour one out.
Pour one out.
I got one more, potentially more. But Sean, you got anything you want to add, or
he's trying to fix
life? All right,
I'm done with. I'm not looking at work anymore. I did want to just say I started playing Splatoon again because I'm excited for 3. And
Splatoon's tight.
Mason, I do feel like you should try this game. If
Splatoon Deuce?
You can borrow my copy.
If you've never played it, man, it's a lot of fucking fun.
The unfortunate thing is it's very hard to actually play with somebody.
Yeah.
Because you can play together, get in the same group, but you might be matched on different teams, which is stupid.
Yeah.
We got to talk about playing fucking Bowser's Castle Fury.
Well, there's that. But yes. I also want to say one other thing is that I do feel like we should probably play some fucking video games on this podcast. I think we've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was thinking like I have that fucking 4K monitor that's huge.
Oh, that would be a great idea.
Put it right there.
Yeah, I mean I could put this down too. Whatever's that would be really cool to have like the fucking screen on the middle.
Yeah. I mean,
well, I will say I feel like if we want to do that and do like capture card stuff, we want to get a setup.
Even if we did some sort of like obviously, I don't really want to be lugging my computer back and forth, but we could do a PC game that's 4-player, like what is it, Brawlhalla? I mean, obviously that's not a game that I feel like it's fun to talk about.
I hear you though.
But just something that, we could hook up with a PC, all get a Bluetooth controller and
well, that's what I would love to do, and like I don't mind them hearing all of this. Like I would love
go listen to All Staff.
Yeah. Why don't you clip this?
This is going on All Staff. Would be to have certain days where like we play, like 3D Super Mario Land.
Dude, fucking
why am I butchering
Super
that
Mario
fucking
3D World plus Bowser's Fury is the new version.
Dude, what a fucking mouthful though.
Yeah, but Super Mario 3D World
is to like sit down and like record us playing this using our setup and then getting a capture card and like having that as like essentially sub content to Debuff. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like if we hooked it up and like got a capture card, like
no. So with Windows 10, there's the built-in game recorder, like so you can.
But that's what I'm saying. Lugging your computer when we could just like stick to, something that's not that, or Stadia maybe.
Dude, Stadia. Yeah, we'll have to workshop this.
Yeah, I mean we can workshop it. I mean even if we did something on the Switch, I'm just saying like that would be really cool.
Monitor Sean got me.
Yeah, which is fucking dope.
It is.
I mean, it doesn't look like some of these capture cards. I obviously don't know enough about them to be like, yeah, this is going to work well, but they're not that expensive.
Yeah, no, I mean, we could definitely. It's definitely affordable. It's just figuring out like how it would work.
The setup is probably
because I'm all about that. It's just figuring out.
We'll just get another one of those bars. We'll put it there. Hang a monitor,
PC.
Hang the PC.
Honestly, that's not fucking that bad of an idea, but
a really long base amount we screw into the ceiling.
No, yeah, I mean, I think that's it. All depends on what we would play, but I would love to fucking play.
Yeah, I mean, even if
Us.
it wasn't even if it was like a spin-off of like
Yeah, no,
this show.
I think it's great. Or like when Fall Guys comes to Switch.
Because
No, we just do Debuff plays blank. Dude.
Yeah,
Let's have some Let's Plays.
when
bro.
did
Let's play.
you guys came over for dinner or some shit? I don't remember.
Yeah,
no,
a
no.
couple days ago.
Well, not the last time, but the first time we played Super Mario game with plus
Game,
Bowser plus
Bowser's
Fury.
Castle.
Why did you guys come over? I don't remember that at all.
I think we just came over.
Wasn't it
just
like
to
a rough,
hang out.
Oh.
rough day, whatever it was?
Yeah,
and-
you guys had a bad day.
Oh yeah,
We just came to
probably what it
chill.
was.
And
But
so yeah, they came over. We played a little
I bought it on a whim. Let me
Mario game.
say
Bowser's-
I wanted
Bowser's
it. I played
Foley.
Super Mario 3D World, the original, on the
Game
Wii
of
U in
Friends.
college a bit, and then I was like, well, this game's coming out. It looked tight. My friend Dylan got it, been playing with his girlfriend, and he was like, oh, it's great. I went to the store to buy our stepdad a new game because he has a PlayStation 5, the bastard. Waited in line to get one. I have not been able to secure one myself. Anyways, and I was buying NBA 2K21 for him. He's a big sports
For Big
fan.
Bry.
Yeah, and I was like, I'll buy this. But then I'm like, dude, I'm buying a fucking $70 game. You know, now some of the new games, the price tag is $70. And I was like, I got to buy myself something while I'm here. So I bought that. And I wanted to play the co-op. So finally we tried it out. And it's a lot of fun. I mean,
I'm gonna say this. I'm probably just bad at video games, but I feel like it was pretty hard.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I
I
think
mean,
I think
Like,
the more
do you
people,
feel that way at all?
the
Yeah,
more
it's
people we were
chaotic.
fucking each other up, right? Like
yeah.
I think one player, it's probably not that hard of a game. Apparently the last level
I'm sure.
is pretty fucking hard. I think it was RTGame I was watching play the last level.
He's great.
Yeah, dude, I love him.
He's so good. City Skyline playlist.
That's how I initially
I'm gonna
started.
go rewatch those. That's
They're
how much I
so
like
funny,
them.
dude. The one where he like just like
The one.
he builds this like massive like pillar. It goes like straight up with a town on
Yeah.
the top. So
And did he do it where there was like sewage at the top?
Yeah.
With the crater.
yeah.
Yeah, the one that I remember is like he plays City Skyline, which is kind of like Sim City or like
yeah, it's
it's almost
exactly-
like Sim City mixed with like kind of like Roller Coaster Tycoon. It has that same vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those management builder games.
And we talked about this the other day, but he made a town
Yeah.
that only has one road with I think 1 or 2 lanes on each side, and the only way to turn around is to go to the end of the road, which took like 35 days
Yeah, it
to
was
get to the end of the road. Really funny channel. Definitely check that out.
Yeah.
But dude, I think if we brought the Switch in when Mario Golf comes out, or even earlier, but to play that for one of the episodes, even just for a little bit, and just play together.
Yeah, I mean, or Mario 3D World.
I think we're gonna have to
or,
come up.
or that.
Either we're gonna have to set up another day to
Yeah,
do that.
definitely.
Well, I'm just saying if we, yeah, I mean we could do that as well. But I'm saying if we put that monitor, a Switch in the dock with the capture card, how hard could that be?
I mean, it wouldn't be that bad,
You know,
but I don't know. We'll
Just
check it
a
out.
thought. Yeah,
I do think Super Mario 3D World is fun,
it is fun,
and
if-
it is
yeah.
chaotic. I like it, but I feel like that's part of the problem is you just got people, even when we were accidentally running, you just pick each other
I'm
up and
just
throw each
fucking
other.
bad at Mario games, man.
I
think
don't.
that's
I
what
mean,
it
I
is.
think it's.
I'm just bad at games.
There's a
in
lot
general.
going on, and I thought it was fun though, fucking around.
It was fun.
And
Well, I mean, you and I were talking about it a little bit. Like I don't love Mario games, like in general, right? Like
I like them. I'm not good at them.
I just, I think that game though is a little bit more fun because you can play a single level with 4 people, right? Like
Yeah,
that,
no, that's
that is what makes it interesting to me. I don't really like. You keep telling me to play Odyssey. I should probably play Odyssey. I don't know. I don't feel
just
like I have much desire to play Mario other than like Mario
going
64.
back and playing 64. Yeah, that's what I'm
64 is
saying.
like the classic one though. Like,
I
that is, like,
understand
the
that
best
it's the
one.
nostalgia for you, but I feel like Odyssey is a blast. And I mean, I
Yeah.
get it, dude. I get it.
I should probably just fucking play it. Like that's where I'll say.
Well,
I mean, I just think the Mario games especially, are just made so well. Like they're just made with so much
Yeah, dude.
care
Yeah.
that, like, I don't know. I just feel like you can't go wrong.
there's a lot of interesting I don't know, like mechanics, the way that Mario does stuff. And I will say, I want to say it was Mark Brown's Game Maker's Toolkit, I think.
I want to play. I want to play that
Amongst
together.
Us.
I would like to
No.
play that again. That was fun.
It's been a while.
The Mark Brown has a lot of good videos on game design and stuff, and I talked about him in the one special I did about YouTube stuff for games. But he had, I think it was him made. He's got a lot of videos on Mario, but there was one where they're talking about how like the design of Mario levels, where they introduce a mechanic and they build on it, and then maybe you see that for a series of levels. But as you progress through the game, they don't just like rehash a ton of mechanics, right? Like they teach it to you and they'll use it, but normally if it comes up later, it's like alongside something else. Like it doesn't get stale because they don't just keep giving you the same shit over and over.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're fun. I mean, I love Mario games, even though, I mean, they are pretty simple, right? Like they're never really that hard.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be, you know, it's like, it's just a good time. Good platformers are fun. And I just want to say before we totally cut this, saying Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, I finally tried the Bowser's Fury section this weekend. Sean watched me play a little bit. And it's cool, man. It's like very open. It's similar to how in Odyssey, like you go to a level and you can just get a bunch of the moons. In this, it's cat shines, and like you just go around and find them. But it's like one big map, and you find little small sections. And Donkey, you know, everyone loves fucking video game Donkey. He had a great video on it. He loves Mario, so he's obviously biased every time. But
he fucking loves Mario.
but he's not wrong. The way he talks about it is,
Yeah,
it's like
he's not.
you go find these smaller sections that are little like, you know, amusement park things where you go and you get the shines and whatever. But it's built really well where you just go back and forth between these sections and find new stuff to do. And it's a lot of fun. And I could see them making a big Mario game more like this. I mean, this is a small add-on that they put to make it worth spending another $60 on a Wii U game. But
yeah,
it seems like a really cool concept that
Classic
I'd like for them to
Nintendo.
do later down the line. Instead of going to new worlds, it's all one big place that maybe you have to unlock sections and do, you know, some secrets to get new areas or whatever. But I think it's fun. And
I thought it was a good time. It was difficult. That's the only,
hey man, next
the
time
only criticism I have. But that's my own, fault.
maybe I could get you guys to play some Kirby Superstar.
No,
or,
dude, I'd try
Star
it.
Al-
I
Kirby
think
Star
I still
Allies,
have your
I mean.
copy.
I'll try it.
Yeah, I fucking love Kirby games. I tried to get Lena,
Yeah.
Sean's daughter, to play because it's an easy game, side scroller. Like it's so hard to
Yeah.
lose in Kirby, except for some of the bosses are assholes. But
She did like Yoshi, so I don't know why she wouldn't like to
I
play.
think because I like Kirby's, she's
Yeah.
like nah. But the games those are supposed to be easy, right? But
yeah,
they're a lot of fun for me. So Kirby Star Allies.
I do. If we're, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I could keep talking. I don't know if we're about to wrap it up. I just want to say something. Is that by the time this episode comes out, Mason's birthday will have passed, and
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty fucking excited for your birthday. I have something that I'm really excited to give you.
shit, dude.
And we'll see how that goes. I'm really hoping that you enjoy your birthday and the gifts that that we're about to receive.
Dude, from thy
In Mason's
bounty.
name.
No, yeah, dude. We can discuss them all next Monday.
Amen.
You know, I've got a song to play us out, so get us out of here.
Bless up. Good chilling, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Debuff. Next week, we'll talk about Mason's birthday. and
Hit
all
that
good
subscribe
stuff.
button.
Yeah.
Make sure
Bang
you-
that notification
Yo,
bell.
make sure you
Slam
don't
that
turn
like.
on the notification bell so you don't get any emails from us ever.
And
It's gonna play us
mangle
out.
some merch.
Yeah. Shout out to Hot Dad.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagool. And then I woke up the next day and got some gabagool. Keep waking up and keep getting different.
What the fuck
Just-
is
Gabagool.
It's Donkey when
Oh,
he did
yeah, okay.
he did the Sopranos video.
Right.
This is 1 hour of woke up this morning, got some gabagool. It's been all over TikTok.
Yeah. No, also Twitter.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Gabagool. Keep waking
Dude,
up and keep
I will say one,
different types of gabagool.
one thing I didn't know is that the term comes from
Gabagool.
I don't know how to say it, but Capocollo.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that, but that's just how the dialect that they pronounce it sounds like gabagool.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's
Gabagool.
Capocollo.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
They're
not-
saying Gabagool.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
isn't
it's
that
wild.
weird?
Yeah.
It's a G and a B.
Dude. It's the. All right,
the
well, let's cut this before
Capocollo.
our Italian ancestors come to
Gabagool.
kill us. But
hey, dude, we're Italian.
that's what I'm saying.
We're American.
Our
Dude, I'm fucking American.
Yo, dude.
All right, bye.
Bye. Debuff is hosted by me, Steve Skeels, edited and mixed by Mason Carlton. Follow us on Instagram at DebuffPod. That's Debuff, P-O-D. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.